What's going on? This is Marcus, and you're at the channel of the Debt Free Dad, where we're following my financial freedom journey and learning about finance. In today's video, we're going to do the July end of the month closeout, where we're going to go through the budget, look at the numbers, see how things played out for the month of July. Now, hey, before we get started, just to give y'all a little bit of background on what's going on, I'm here playing Mr. Mom. Wifey's gone on her birthday trip that she wanted to go to that was months after her birthday, where she kind of finessed me into a couple of gifts, and I just peeped game, but that's a whole nother story. She doing her thing, so I'm here with the kids, so you know what that means. It means we're going to have a good time. I'm going to get them where they need to go. The house going to get really messy, and then the night before she come back, we're going to clean the hell up so I look like I had my shit together. That's how real dads do it. Also, I did have an interesting story, and I don't know. I don't know if my daughter planned me, or if it's sweet, or if I'm just a simp, or what. But in any event, two things. First of all, as soon as my wife goes out of town, my daughter cries before she goes, during. She cried all the way up to the day she literally get back from the airport. So, I don't know why I don't get that same cry treatment. Daddy leave and go somewhere for a few days. Don't nobody think about daddy. They may ask about me once. But I want some tears when I go, because she get tears, I think I deserve some tears too. So that's number one. Number two, every time my wife goes out of town or out of country or wherever it is she going, me and my daughter had this thing that we've been doing since she was little, and I started it because she would always be upset and crying, so I was trying to, lighten the mood and get her spirits up so we would build a fort. So I take a billion blankets and pillows, and we got a canopy bed now, and I throw all the blankets over the canopy bed, and they covered up, and then I adjust the bed because we got an adjustable bed. I adjust the bed, move some parts up and down, and I stack the pillows up and build this nice little fort that she likes to sleep in. And I used to sleep in there with her, but she always kicking my ass, and then the fort be too tight, and I don't like being all covered up, not being able to see anything out of there because it gives me Iraq flashbacks. So most of the times I don't last all night in there. But last time I went out of town, my wife, we talking, and I said, "Oh, how's Lex doing?" She was like, "Oh, Lex cool." I was like, "Yeah, y'all building the fort?" She was like, "Nah, ain't nobody building the fort. She only gets you to build that fort because you stupid enough to do it." I was like, what? Like, I felt some type of way. So this is a picture of the fort we built. I don't know how much longer we're going to be building forts. I actually asked her. I was like, hey, how much longer I got to build these forts when Mommy got out of town? She was like, I don't know, maybe till I'm 12, so another 2 years. Then after we build it, she was like, oh, it could run until I'm 15. But in any event, I think, one, I think it's our little thing, so I like that. But two, I also think she playing me because she knows that I'm stupid enough to go ahead and build this fort and just chunk up everything, and we're going to scramble like hell to get everything squared away before moms get back. So that's kind of what's going on. I did have one question I wanted to address, but before I address this question or these comments, I wanted to let y'all know I'm a licensed attorney, but not y'all attorneys. Seek a professional. Don't look for me. I'm just telling y'all my opinion and what I'm doing. Now, I saw a lot of comments talking about term life insurance and whole life insurance in my last video. So I'm going to explain why I prefer term over whole, but y'all do y'all due diligence when y'all looking at a policy. So everybody need life insurance. It's a replacement for income. Most times you want to get about 10 times what your income is. So in the event that something happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are good. That's out the way. Now, term life insurance policy is normally a 20-year term. You pay monthly, and at the end of that 20-year term, you have the chance to renew it for another term. So you can't borrow any money from it, but because you can't borrow any money from it, the term life insurance policies are much lower. For example, if you're in your 20s and you're in relatively good health, you can get a 20-year term life insurance policy, probably about $1.25 million, and maybe pay $80 or $90 a month. That's term life insurance. Whole life insurance is you pay for an insurance policy that lasts throughout your lifetime, and that insurance policy has a cash value that goes into a fund that you could potentially borrow from. So how it works, it has much higher rates, so the monthly rates are going to be much higher. So an example, and this is actual number from a term life insurance policy I saw that someone had. They had a $150,000 term life insurance policy. They were paying $200 a month. This person probably had this policy from the age of maybe 35 and they're 70 now. They've been paying this money into this policy. They can borrow from that money that they paid into the policy. The problem is all of that money that they put into that policy, it gained damn near zero interest. You actually may gain more from a savings account than you would from the cash value of those monthly contributions to a whole life insurance policy. So presumably what would have been more effective is, hey, instead of getting that whole life insurance policy for $300 a month, get a term life insurance policy that you can renew at the end of the term. You pay less than $100 a month for way more coverage. The other $200 difference that you would have been paying if you had that stupid whole life insurance policy, you can invest that $200 in the marketplace. And if you would have invested that money in the marketplace from your mid-30s to the age of 70, you would have had a hell of a lot more money than what you got over here to borrow from that whole life insurance policy. So that's really what a whole life insurance policy is. That's the reason why I personally think a term life insurance policy is better, because it's cheaper. It gives you a little bit more flexibility to do something else with what you would save versus if you got a whole life insurance policy. And at the end of the day, the whole life insurance policy is a terrible investment vehicle. Life insurance companies aren't in the business of investing your money to make you money. That just doesn't make sense. That would be like me going to buy a car from Kellogg's and they make Raisin Bran. Why would I do that? My car would be terrible. It would be soggy and just the whole nine. But that explains everything. Let's jump into the video. Yeah, give this video a thumbs up, a thumbs down, whatever. If you get something out of it, give it some feedback for the algorithm. Let's go talk about the end of the month closeout for the month of July. Alright, now that we're at the table, let's go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint. Let's take a look at the July budget, see how things closed out. Okay, now we're going to start at the top left-hand corner. Those are all the fixed expenses, mortgage, electricity, internet, all of that basic stuff. None of those things changed. All of those things got paid, so no issues there. We go down to the bottom category, other expenses. All of those things almost stay the same. If you look at the grocery category, essentially the grocery category, normally we allocate $1,000 a month towards groceries. This month we only spent $500 a month towards groceries. Like I said in the mid-month video, we had some essential COVID subsidies, about $700 worth. That's why I got that $700 there in that peach color. I don't know what color that is, but essentially we had some subsidies. So we were able to, still purchase more than the average amount towards groceries, but we didn't spend more outside of our budget because we had that additional funding. So that worked out pretty well. Next, we move over to the right to the top category where we look at the cost associated with the rental property that we still had the mortgage on. We made that payment for July, $547. The utilities, because it was vacant, was $17. HOA fee of $90. Next month budget is going to be really different because we won't have those expenses since we did sell the rental property, and I'll talk about that and go into details on what's going on and what's the deal related to that as a later video. But next month will be really different because we won't have those expenses associated with that mortgage, but we also won't have the windfall from the $1,100 that we got towards the mortgage, but that's just to look forward to next month. Right now at the bottom, this is where things kind of change. We had the repair for the damage to the house for the storm that was $1,000. Spent $600 for the wifey's birthday. That's why I was late dropping this video, because she gone, I'm playing Mr. Mom, and yeah, it's getting crazy. But in any event, $600 for her and her girls' trip, or whatever they want to call it, to she went to Aruba, so she having a good time out there. This extra kid, $525. So my niece from California came and spent 2 weeks with us, and man, like, I don't know, you just used to the expenses with the kids you have. But man, that girl could eat. I love her, and I was happy that she does eat. At least she's not picky like some people, some kids in my household. But man, that girl eat a lot. So, and we wanted to have activities for the kids to do as well. We didn't want to just have them, all cooped up in the house when they had family over. So we did spend $525. with regard to, just additional costs of taking the kids out, being able to have them go out and do stuff and enjoy themselves as well. So the total amount for the primary expenses, $2,964. Total amount for all the rental expenses we had is $654. If we go to the other expenses totals, groceries, insurance, cell phone, that was $1,971. And a one-time total of $2,125. That was essentially for the repair to the house, the birthday cost that we had already allocated, and the additional monies we spent to entertain family who was over. So that's kind of how that played out. So all in all, the total expenses for last month was $7,714. That's kind of where we at with the budget played out. Yeah, last month was just, we had, the storm and family come over and things. So some things came up. But at the end of the day, and family coming to visit was kind of a last minute thing. My daughter and her cousin, they always talk all the time. And they essentially told us that she was coming over. I didn't believe her. I was like, what, huh? But they coordinated everything, and I was just too much of a sucker to say no. I'm not going to say no, that's family. So that's kind of how all the expenses played out. Now, let's go ahead and kill two birds with one stone. Next, we're going to bring up an image so we can talk about how the student loan payment went for this month. Well, we weren't able to make the $3,600 to $4,000 payment, and primarily that was really because of the damage to the house that was done and the deductible that we had to pay. So, as you can see, on the 23rd of July, a few days after my birthday, your boy getting up there. But on the 23rd of July, we made a payment of $2,600 towards the student loan. If you take a look at the payment history, we're actually making good progress. It starts down with that February 20th payment if you look at the bottom of the screen. But also in the beginning of February, the balance was actually, here it has $106,000 if you look all the way at the bottom of the screen. But the original balance was actually over $109,000. But that first $3,000 that we paid in February, just so you all remember, was mostly interest. It was all interest. And here I just had the principal payments. So just based on the numbers, we've actually been making good progress. So far we paid off, I got it on my phone because I didn't put it on the computer, $17,613 towards the principal of this loan since February, and over $20,000 when we add the $3,000 plus dollars we paid at the beginning of February for the interest. So far so good. $20,000 or a little over $20,000 paid in total towards the loan, $17,000 towards the principal, and we're gonna keep trucking along, see how that whole student loan thing goes. Right now we're really not talking about or worried about any type of forgiveness because I don't give a shit about that. We're just looking to see if the forbearance and the interest rate freeze is going to get extended. If that does get extended, our goal is going to be, if it gets extended to 2022, our goal is going to try to be to at least finish paying off this loan. If it gets extended to, I think they said March was the date that they were looking at, but if it gets extended to March of next year, our goal is going to be to pay off this loan completely, so we'll only have one student loan to focus on. That's pretty much it. That's where we are. I wanted to make this video short, simple, and straight to the point. I appreciate you all tuning in. Y'all take care. Hey, be safe, be blessed. I love y'all. Peace. If you're still tuning into this video, check out the videos on the link below for more financial content that you enjoy. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button all the way to the right of your screen.